TLPH will agree with that because again, they're trying to build this golden road of theirs. But first pick, it does go to Arora. Now I want to talk about like how Aurora should have approached this before they sat down to actually face off Team Liquid. I think we need a change. We need something different from this team because TLPH they've brought on Golden Fighters, but so far even the community has discussed this last night. Golden Fighters for Tomica doesn't seem to work.
There are some sentiments that after the first game, oh wow,
Yeah.
Humankind actually stepping out of his comfort zone. But speaking of comfort zone, by the way, for Sanford's Yuzong history, an historical stats midnight, you take over.
Jesus, 10-0 in season 11. Season 12, 6-4, 7-4, season 13. Those are still like good stats, relatively speaking,
is.
because at that time there were a lot of like brawls in the XP. But now you bring it back to the semi-final meta, Yuzong once again shines because he just deletes people that wants to be in the team fight.
That's a 3-0. 100% win rate here for Sanford's Yuzong. And the moment that this was actually picked for first day, I was like, oh my gosh, Sanford is in the zone.
Yeah.
He is zoned in onto getting the throne.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he is number 1 Yuzong in Philippines, in MPLPH. Number 1 in kills too. So this is really the apex predator, but that's Yuzong. You still have to worry about Lapu, the Esmeralda, the Arlet, but you also have to worry about this guy, the man who is born out of consistency, Aurora's XP laner. You know, the accolades, they speak for themselves. That's why he's, Legend Zero. He has a lot of achievements under his belt. But I gotta talk about what happened yesterday. Even after facing the pressure of trying to beat TNT and proceed to the upper bracket finals, last game, he had to sell his items and still play the game for the next 3 minutes.
That was a really hot sentiment on why he did that. But thankfully, there was an interview. Even V-Wise have actually messaged him after this game on what happened.
Yeah, like what happened?
And for me, it's important that he took accountability and explained it well.
Yeah.
That, to be honest, he thought that was an endable matchup, that was an endable clash. But so far, that was a really, really scary tactic and decision that he made.
Yeah, that's why he is Mr. Consistent. The amount of composure that this guy has, even if you block him in draft, you block him in game, you make his game miserable, he shows up. That's the thing about Aurora's XP lane. He is the pillar. He is the stability, the stable player of this lineup.
Even in real life, actually.
Yeah, even in real life. He's very chill.
His grandma, actually, Lola Lucy, for the
you're
first
right.
time, actually watched live here on MPL Arena.
He's a little pillar.
Even outside the game, he's a shining protector. He's a guardian. He sets up his family for a better future, a better setup indeed. And we've seen a better setup here for Demon Kite as well yesterday.
He's smiling.
Very good performance. The smiling demon is smiling yet again.
Yeah, he's smiling. I mean, as much as I'd love to say the last Raider, Light kind of broke that deal for us because he went back. So there's 2 Raiders.
The final 2.
Yeah, the final 2. The last 2 Raiders of Arora. But this isn't the last raid. They still have 2 raids left because upper and lower bracket is still waiting. If they win against TLPH, I mean, that's probably the last raid. But for M7, at least they secured that slot already. But for TLPH, this is a very comfortable spot for them to be in. Again, momentum is everything in playoffs, and you just swept Onyx Philippines. They wiped the floor against the Super Family, and I think the pressure and the burden of change is upon Arora, upon Light and Demon Kite, even Doming Kite might as well. Because the thing is, we've seen Arora like utilize their strategy, their gameplay, the fundamental MLBB approach, the almost perfect MLBB. But we've seen that being broken so many times now, even in their last match against TNC, as we saw close games. And the thing is, Arora were having so many troubles even yesterday. And against TLPH, who is going to be able to break your early game, who will depend on their mechanics to initiate fights and will, execute chaotic breakdowns. I think Aurora has to really deep dive on how they wanted to approach this game. Maybe focus on like you're setting up for the marksman on Dominguez,
Yep.
and even consider pulling out utility jumpers against Tlph.
It's all about filling up the small cracks for Aurora. Because Tlph is the kind of team that once they see even the slightest of a hole,
Yeah,
they could make it
Jungle
onto a window, or
XP
even a door,
iki
an
XP à?
opportunity for
yeah.
them to
XP
attack you
jungle
head on.
iki apa ya?
And for
Good
me,
land,
some of the
good land.
concerns is actually
Iki
if
X,
ever
iki
this is just one of the scenarios that could happen today. If Tlph goes to the lower bracket, they might be playing for the first to the fifth day. All days
All
here
5
until
days.
the playoffs. So stamina is also a question here in the endurance for Tlph. But we will be heading over for our first bracket phase onto our upper bracket finals. It's going to be Aurora onto the blue side and right side here for Tlph. And let's take a look onto what our map will be for the first game.
Flying Clouds? Okay. Hispanic Rivers. A little bit neutral, but Lord Dances and Turtle Dances will be important for these two teams. Matter of fact, Aurora's only lost once in this map. And they have, I would say, I don't mind, I don't really care. Stat line 3-3, 50%
Yep.
win rate. But it does matter in this match. And Aurora first bans Yuzong, full respect, caging the hero pool of Sanford.
And that's it. Even for
Yeah, that's it.
Coach RC, sorry, Midnight, I just have to quote it. The CC ban as well.
Yeah.
Actually, Coach Wolf specifically highlighted, watch out for the CC priority, so
Yeah.
why not just ban it all together? And even the Lunox actually for Aurora has been removed.
Yeah, they're hitting a lot of stones here for Tlph. They removed Doming's best gold lane and also the flex route of the gold lane fighter. Now, if you wanna go to gold lane fighter route, there's only the Rubies, the Esmeraldas, Babes, but Aurora's only shown to use Ruby. But they haven't really performed with it. Even with the first match that they played Ruby with, Dominkai,
Wow.
it lost against Team Falcons. And now, Aurora, they don't want to let Carl T's get his hands on the Lancelot, but Yi Sun Shin is still up for taking. Might consider picking it now. They don't want to reserve it for round 3. And then, Gatot Kacha, this is a very stable draft for Tlph. For Aurora, though, might want to consider getting the Kimi for Yue as early as now, and then potentially a marksman, something like a Granger.
They should.
Or Uranus slash Alice, honestly.
Because honestly, for Dominic, I did mention his heroes onto this match. He's more on the 50-50 when it comes to the fighter building. So you would want to set him up onto a hero he's more comfortable with. And now Hylos here for Aurora to finish off their first phase of the draft.
This is peak Rora week 3. This was what they used to do. Like, get jungle, and if they need to get gold for Dominguez and then pair it up with a Hylos. This shuts down the YSS for Tlph, but Sanford gets his hands on the Arlo. This is going to be a good pick because now they will be able to block off, XP laners that can deal with the Arlo, such as the Alice, Uranus. They don't even have to worry about Lapu Lapu, honestly.
And this is honestly a very good draft year for Coach RC, considering that even though you've revealed your XP and roll as early as the first phase, but it's alright. And even banning out the allies here,
Yes.
just so they could ensure that no one will be so flexible here after the map to retain their position.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because now they can just remove some of the problems for Sanford, make him very viable in the turtle fights.
Okay.
And now Aurora shutting down gold lane fighters, but I don't think they have enough. Because honestly, Tlph, now that this Artist lane is secured, they could just get whatever Ohib wants, like the Esmeralda. If he wants to go the marksman route, he can go for the Obsidia, last pick. They are red side, so that is a definite possibility.
So many options still here for OM. Even the choke gold.
Choke gold, yeah, indeed.
We've been seeing that here on their playoffs. And for Aurora, I would love to see them bound the Kimi. Because if ever they would go for a route of a fighter for OM, the Kimi is still an option here for Sanji. But we cannot forget the Bursa, of course. He ran out here for game number 1.
Yeah, now Sanji, he has a lot of options here. Farsa was the best. I wouldn't even consider it like best because there was a Hylos in the game. So maybe now you think about heroes like Eve, Kagura, well, Lunos has been banned out. Even Valentina is okay here because you do get that Glorious Pathway
Pathway.
Steal, which is going to be good with the Gacha AOG. So that will be a good combo. If they want Oheb last pick, Valentina's a good red 4.
Oh, or maybe the Eve.
Yeah, Eve or Val.
Yeah, for the folks around here for the early game. But for TLPH, they might actually go for an OHIP hero this early.
Oh!
No, it's going to be a Selena.
Okay.
Okay, there's option E. Go for the Selena here for
Yeah.
Sanji.
This is the TLPH normal picks. We don't care about meta picks. We care more about our signature heroes. In TLPH, I think this does accelerate their game from from the very first turtle because now Carl TZ has a choice whether he wants to contest turtle or not. They have side lane pressure and also the acceleration of farming speed for the Eastern Shin because now you have the traps, you have the you can even get Season Hunter on Sanji just to boost the farm of Carl TZ. So now Aurora, he does get his hands on the Lakudapo and then Kimi or okay. Navaria, Selena and Navaria. This is what they used to run against Onyx Philippines. They keep matching the Selena with the Navaria.
Yeah, and considering the map is the expanding rivers, they would want somehow to catch more vision when it comes to the objective game here for TLPH. And now all that's left is going to be a hero here for OM. Any predictions on this one, Midnight?
Esme or Bane. I think Esme or Bane is good here. They don't really mind playing into the pokes of the Navaria, especially those two heroes have heals.
Dragon is ready anytime.
Okay. This is spicy.
I just mentioned that earlier, but I didn't expect it to appear this early for game number one.
There's a big risk. This is funnel strat for TLPH. They're really focusing on Carl T's farm, which might cost them the late game because there's a lot of ways for Arora to actually deal with the YSS.
It's also reflecting here onto our index, wherein onto the late game potential, there is where it will spike the most here for TLPH. So many crowd controls indeed here, but for Aurora, considering that they've got the Lance onto as a Demon Kite, this will be a battle for our king onto the jungle. But moving forward, let's see if who will get the first blood, first game here for our first match of our offer bracket, third day of our playoffs. Let's get it over and start with our game. Casters, it's your time.
The race to Jakarta begins here. The upper bracket finals, first to the grand finals, first to M7. Game 1, Arora, Team Liquid Philippines.
You could feel the momentum seep through the way both of these teams decided to go in with their drafts. Very comfortable picks so far that we're seeing on both sides, and I cannot wait to see the XP Lane showdown.
Brigida and Leo at your service for this long haul slobber knocker, expecting no less than 5. Aurora last night was sweated by TNC. I think that whole fighter side lane really gave them a run for their money. Now look at this. It's Oheb who's rocking a choke against Dominkai, who is proven. Our panel mentioned it. At the end of midnight, they said, hey, Dominkai, he's not so good on them fighters yet.
And I feel like Aurora also started to realize a few things, especially after yesterday, because it's not like teams don't get to adjust completely after observing that Aurora does stick with this plan, but Carl, barely touching the Star Shutter.
Revitalize, already used by Daddy JB. There's no way he's gonna let one of his sons die. Not like that. Edward!
Not Carl. It can't be Carl. Sanford here against 2 though. Gets to walk under the turn and unbreakable from JP as well. But that's all the help we can take for now.
All right, 2 close calls for Liquid. Aurora, they get a small lead off of that. They get to push the cavalry back out from their side of the jungle. Let's go back to that gold lane matchup. Again, a Granger versus a Cho. I think this will really make more of a difference in actual team fighting.
I agree. And when the more macro scale rotations come into play, we saw it even from Benny yesterday. There was a time that the Joe got to complete a solo kill against a Ruby who was just trying to rotate and regroup with his teammates. So it's not possible for this Joe to do the same against a Granger.
Gotta watch out. Oh my god, the flicker from Oheb! Baby Cake's doing work, but Dominkite refuses to fall!
He gets to keep himself safe. That turret, the advantage that he gets, the additional sustain and defense, and that's a free turtle that Aurora takes.
You know what? I think Arora knew that something was afoot, that there was shenanigans around the lower half of the map because Carl and Oheb, they don't usually do this. They don't usually telegraph where they are. So, Rora, again, kudos to their coaching staff. Kudos to Master the Basics, to Dexstar, and to Kalad. They're like, Dominica, you watch out for yourself. You protect yourself.
Yeah, and wasn't this one of the things mentioned in the howl that you gotta take away the first turtle from Team Liquid Philippines? Not that Team Liquid wanted to get it for themselves during that instant, but it feels like they didn't even allow for Team Liquid to consider even positioning themselves or contesting that objective at all. It was just that quick of a decision from Arora.
So Arora is playing off of former knowledge. This is just, again, knowing Liquid inside and out from the playoffs, from the regular season, and this is going to be key to the Northern Lights getting a good start. Let's check out the items real quick. Not much of a difference between these two teams. Again, a paltry lead for either side.
I guess it's the encourage that's the most
Interesting. Again, light on that high loss with an encourage and, of course, an elegant gem. He's playing very low to the ground.
Yeah, this has been Light's choice for the role blessing since yesterday, and I feel like it suits Aurora so much. Hold on, like finding Sanford here. I know I did mention wanting to see the XP lane showdown, but Aurora, even though they don't get to take the kills, they're doing a great job at somehow caging the Apex Predator for now.
Yep, by caging Sanford, you avoid him from making game-changing plays early on, delaying that rotation, delaying him from rotating out and affecting the rest of the map. So Edward playing man-to-man defense, or should we say man-to-beast defense, because the Predator currently just can't do much. Now we see them rotating down to the lower part of the map. Second turtle spawn. Liquid has a bigger presence here. Carl Easy with an amazing push and a pull. Sanford checking that pixel brush. Oh my god, 3 that echoes!
Oh, that's a four-man actually. You also caught by the final slash, and that's gonna be first blood for Team Liquid Philippines. Aurora still deciding to join in the glorious pathway already laid down. Demon Kite can't fight anymore though. He's very low, and Zedward 2 will fall next. Light trying to run away, but then Team Liquid, they're able to take 3 and they actually want 4. But will Light allow them to? Sanford makes a double.
It's not up to Light. It's about that Apex Predator getting unleashed. He joined the fight, went straight for the important targets. And when you say gold lane fighter and you look at a Cho, I think that's a misnomer. This is a gold lane assassin. You see the precision that Oheb put on display. Totally ruining Rora's backline.
You gotta look for him if you're Yue. You want him to be part of that Astral Echo, but even then, you couldn't stop the surprise of a flicker way of the Dragon play. You can't entirely avoid that, especially if Oheb's just really keen on looking for the right targets. And just as we mentioned, the Apex Predator being caged. At that moment, he just felt unleashed.
No, he caged all. It was a total opposite. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me or something like that. Liquid up now by 3,000 gold. Bring it up. 6 minutes in. They missed out on the first turtle. But that turtle was but a speed bump. It seems like the cavalry, the stampede is just getting started.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more terrifying if Liquid have learned how to adjust, even despite not taking the first turtle for themselves. Because I feel like that's a major
Oh my
thing.
God.
But JP already using the Revitalize, only fighting up against Light at this point though, so they won't necessarily be taking any kills from there.
He's fine. This is what JP is built to do. He's a trailblazer. Checking how deep the rest of Liquid can dive in. The bottom lane, though, this is definitely the recovery lane. It's totally in shambles. Again, 6.5 minutes in, I don't think Dominkite expected to be this far out. I'm pretty sure he still expected that tier 1 to be there until he built maybe his third item. But now, what's he at even? Maybe he's on his winter, his Hunter Strike, and then maybe on the way to the Sky Piercer. Like, that is best case scenario for a Granger that was pushed out of his lane this early.
But at the very least, he hasn't died just yet. And it's not like we don't see him suddenly pick up some maniacs every now and then when Aurora actually find that one big team fight. So that could be a possibility for them, but a 2-man final slash forcing Demon Kite to move away. Carl Teasy has the turtle all to himself, but not for now. That's another way of the pickoff for Team Liquid Philippines.
Edward coming in with the bravest fighter. Everyone getting hit hard via the help of that Echoes, but they're struggling to find the follow-through.
Now Lights might go down next, but Sanford has all his eyes set on Dominkite. He picks up Light for now. Dominkite runs away, but Edward will be the trade.
The juice ain't worth the squeeze. Arora are struggling to set up an amazing combo wombo across the big 5v5s, but they just can't make it work. Too much of a disruptor Liquid's picks are. The way the dragon, the final smash out, even that rogue arrow from Sanji ruins everything Rora's trying to set up.
Because you could see Light. You could see Light trying to find a way to the key members of Team Liquid Philippines. He actually got to stand in front of Carl Tizzy. But that's the thing, he was all alone because of, again, the amount of disruption that's in Team Liquid's lineup.
And that's why the setup seems so slow. That's why even when you think Arora should have started take 1, 2, 3 down from Liquid, you're like, how do you do that when 2 have already died on your side? Arora are down 5k gold. The stats say Demon Kite is down 5 minutes away from reaching level 15 away from Carl Dizzy, and Carl hasn't even gotten kills. He's just been farming like a madman.
Yep, and he's already 2k up ahead of Demon Kite. This is a very unusual scenario that we're seeing right now, where Demon Kite's behind in terms of levels, in terms of gold, and he's not able to keep up entirely. I mean, that's a 3-level gold lead we're seeing in the hands of Carl Tizzy.
Golden EXP, it's miserable. But these two mid laners, let's talk about this real quick. Astro, Recall into the Star Shatter versus the Abyssal Arrow. Better hit rates on Yue, but what does it mean? Oh my god, the Purified has stopped! The final slash is Sanford! Gets shut down, the Hunter becomes the hunted.
And now,
AOG back!
that's the first stack that they get on his Sky Piercer. Will they continue this fight though? Because they already lost 2. And that's right before this Lord actually spawned, Leo.
So 3v5, Liquid, for the first time in a while, have to consider we have less bodies on the floor. Sanji throwing out an arrow.
What? Lights already have HP with just that single combo. And now that's making things a bit awkward for Arora. But they're still deciding to blitz the Lord. Carl Tizzy trying to make his way. He has to deal with Edward first. OM looking for a target. And it's going to be Light instead. But on the other side of the map, Carl Tizzy finding Edward, and Sanji has a double kill.
Oh my god!
Carl Tizzy and Sanji! What a chase from the cavalry!
Nothing comes for free. A stampede in the wake of a stolen lord. Rora, highway robbery up against Liquid when they were down 5,000 gold. Liquid with a punish.
What Lord? That Lord's gone. Team Liquid Philippines. It's as if it never even existed. It wasn't even able to get past their tier 2 turret. That's how quick they were able to deal with the Lord right after they just forced the fight. And normally, fights that are forced after you lose the objective are very dangerous, but they made it work.
This is the prime example of living outside of your means. They spent their whole paycheck to have one night of fun, and they spent all of their resources to try and steal one lord, and they lost 3, make that 4 members on the way out. Liquid ended up with a bigger lead because Arora got tunnel visioned from that lord. 7,000 gold now between them, and all the outside turrets wiped out.
And I just said, Dominkite got his first Sky Piercer stack. But then
Got shut down.
he got shut down. I don't even know if you could consider it to be a shutdown. He just had a single kill.
So he has like 5 stacks now, because you lose half of it on the way out when you die. Looking at the items, so far 2,000 between these gold laners. The time-tested Granger and the Assassin in the gold lane at Show, and then between Demon Kite and Carl Tizzy, forget about it. That's 3,000 gold now.
That's too much. Even JB, knowing what he has to do and what his job is, prioritizing the Twilight armor. So that's why you always see him standing in front of wherever Yue tries to throw out those star shutters. But Hunter Shocker, Astral Echo thrown out as a response. But they won't commit anything just yet. But look at how Team Liquid Philippines constantly forces Arora near the base.
Dag nabbit, you see how many projectiles were thrown out? The boat, that arrow, a random final slash can come in via a flicker, an AOG from Daddy JP. It's just too much that Liquid is throwing at Arora without even considering that gold lead. Again, 7,000 gold. Calculating now, that's a full item on each of the cores, plus change across each role.
And although you would want to look at Aurora's potential in the late game, the way that you could definitely depend on the Novaria and the Granger for their late game damage, it feels like the setups take a lot more time compared to Team Liquid Philippines, who could just decide to fight whenever they want to.
Oh, yeah.
You could say, I guess, it's the same for Edward, but that's just Edward. When you want Light, Yue, and Dom and Kite to be in sync with one another, then there has to be a certain sequence to how they lay out their skills. Team Liquid Philippines, it feels like all these projectiles you mentioned are just thrown out whenever they want to.
Yep, and it's not like Edward or Light can catch it for you. They have to be proactive in positioning, proactive in initiating, and they just can't die. Again, when Light or Edward are at half health, the rest of Aurora have to back out. So there's the Mount Shocker. Crowd sees everyone.
Why is actually Light still there? I think that's going to be my question for now, because that's going to be a free kill over to Liquid. And who did the zoning for them? It's just JP, I think.
It was unnecessary. Light was way too far, light years away from where the rest of Aurora were. I don't know what the comms were bringing up, but one can only assume, oops, something to that effect.
Because I feel like they wanted to make their way, but this is an 8k gold lead nonetheless.
Huge.
We've seen instances of Lancelot stealing away objectives countless times, especially in this season.
Maybe only second to Hayabusa as the most steal capable hero.
Yeah, but he couldn't even get past all these walls that Team Liquid are putting up.
And I think that is the right thing to do. I'll give kudos to Aurora for that, except for the fact that Light overstayed his welcome. He was in too deep. Now Liquid, setting up the push, throwing out that echoes. Aurora are taking this very slowly. This is the right way to do it.
Okay, they might actually, or yeah, Aurora denied that tier 3 down bottom. Every wave is so far well taken care of by Aurora. They're not letting their base turrets down. And Team Liquid Philippines, I'm liking how they're really respecting Aurora's defense capabilities. Because I think the threat of a glorious pathway slowing you down is still there either way. Once you overcommit, you don't have your AOG to get out anymore, then there are still chances for Aurora to punish you.
Yep. And Liquid's time ain't exactly running out. You saw how hard that arrow scales. Dominkai caught one randomly down bottom. It was half his health plus the tick damage from the Impure Rage. And that's what a 10,000 gold deal will do to you at 15 and a half minutes. What else are they picking up? Oh my, he's just 3 items in.
Oh, then the Divine Glaive.
The chef is cooking with half a kitchen right now.
Yeah, he only needs one more item.
There it is.
Compared to Yue, who needs 2 more.
Oh, well, he was on his way to Holy Crystal.
Yeah, that's also...
Should make a difference.
So you might, or you should be feeling the damage, especially if JP doesn't catch it, because I think he's looking to catch every single one of them. Like all those Star Shatters, even those bullets that come in from Dominkai. Oh, but speaking of full builds, Dominkai, I think he should be really ready to fight now. He already completed his item builds, locking in his last item, which is the Sea Halberd.
Yep. So all this healing from Sandberg, from JP, the shields that OHIP generates through Only Fast, should slowly be worked on. But again, this is the nature of their lineup. They need setup. They need light to stun the right target. They need the echoes to hit at least 2 or 3. And then that's how these bullets from Domingai will make a difference. And not even mention his stats, right? I don't think his energy is in a place where he's comfortable. He hasn't had the best early to mid game. Now that we enter the late game with this Lord spawning in the lower quarter, we'll see if Aurora can do both those things. Set up for their team fight and take care of the map.
Yeah, if Team Liquid even would let them find that opening, because I think they're so good at splitting the map too, just because they have a Cho in the goal. So you could see how OHEP's just consistently trying to manage the waves, not necessarily putting himself alongside the other members of Liquid so that Aurora could see and have full information as to where everyone is. But finds the way of the dragon on Demon Knight, just kicking him away.
Oh my
Not
God.
the best angle though. Edward jumping in, gets revealed by the Echo as well. But Light, will he survive this? He gets to survive with the glorious pathway.
Light lives, and Aurora pull out so much from Liquid. They spend a good amount of their ults, and of course a couple of battle spells, while Aurora only use up their ults, and Light revitalize. Look at this, Carl D this whole time was playing with the Lord. Now it's at the end of its health. I think Liquid are gonna secure.
Yep, Oheb knows where Demon Kite is. Demon Kite's up top, but without a flicker, Oheb couldn't chase. But that was such a bold move from Oheb. The one that we saw in mid where he just decided to commit his ultimate onto a Demon Kite who was surrounded by other members of Aurora.
Yep, and again, he can get away with it. Look at his items. It's not exactly just pure assassination. He has the warrior boots. He has the breastplate. So he has extra resilience to be able to use his dashes to get out. Liquid got away from what could have been Aurora's possible clapback while securing the Lord along the way. Bottom lane, say goodbye.
Not just the single arrow from Carl that damaged Doming Kite to almost half. Oh, but look at the damage from the Star Shutter.
Ow!
You gotta respect Yue at this point too.
Bring it up looking at Sanji. What are you talking about? I think the arrow hurts more than the shatter at this point.
You cannot catch the arrows if you're Doming or you're Yue. Let the Light do it. Let maybe even Edward do it, because he has an ability to just immune himself from those stuns and not get caught. But I think if earlier Team Liquid Philippines had a bit more room to let Aurora defend, it's becoming a bit scarier this time that Yue and Doming Kite have all their items and damage locked in.
Yep, not to mention, even Demon Kite is just but 1,000 or so away from fully building his final item. I would assume that this is a Blade of Despair. So that means Aurora isn't fighting for him. If we do get to that point, which I'm guessing is what, the 21-minute mark? So just in time for this final Lord, which again, I'm not counting on Aurora will get. Because look at the map, something that we haven't really been talking about much. Liquid structures are untouched. Not a single turret. It's that bad.
And even the placements of the arrows and every single member of Liquid, honestly, because Oheb's always opposite where the others are. Sanji, the way he just places all these arrows in areas where Aurora could just walk through, so they always have an idea of where they could potentially be approaching the next objective. It makes it so hard for Aurora, who, based on their lineup, just naturally need to walk towards wherever they want to go.
Oh my God, they catch two!
Oh, it's a flicker from Sanji and a failed attempt to assassinate Doming Kite. They pick off just in time for Aurora.
Overextension from the Lone Stallion. Not in a while has a nickname been so ironically perfect. Sanji was left out to cook. He flickered in for that.
I think that's not the kind of Lone Stallion play we're used to seeing. But
he's not here for the Lord.
He's not gonna be there. Okay, Sanford picking up the Oracle, but still they're one member down. Oheb, does he want to join this?
This is the best shape for Aurora to actually go for this major objective, but they have to keep eyes on the Filipino sniper. He might get away with this split push, the rat strat.
He's actually forcing a reaction. Who's gonna work and deal with the waves?
You know what? I think it's worse than what we think. It might not be a split push. He might actually intercept whoever goes to defend. Oheb makes himself known, visible. Lord being pulled in by Carl. Lord at an eighth of its health.
Yep, they denied Aurora from potentially blitzing the Lord. Now Carl's holding it, maybe catching the Star Shutters, and even the Thorn Rose, but the damage is a bit too much. Phantom Execution already committed, and the AOG is used as well.
All right, Light holds the Pixel Brush away from the Apex Predator. Doming Kite pulling in.
Oh, Demon Kite's very low. He wanted to recall, but Sanford just keeps checking the brushes. And now it might be Light. That's the target. Oheb, just in time. Stunning Light, taking him down. And Carl TZ takes the Lord.
Baby Cakes doing work. Lupin, Rora, round and round, defend down bottom, take the Lord, defend the base, steal this objective, and Arora couldn't make a decision. Liquid score their third major objective.
What was the thought process of OHEB during the entire time? I thought he'd give it more pressure to join because they lost one member, but he just stayed down bottom, pushed the waves, and made Arora let go of the objective.
I think all the more he had to be as annoying. He had to be that much bigger of a menace to influence Rora's decision making and to muddle their thought process. Because look, Sanji's missing. I have to make up for both fighting with the Lord and this push down bottom. I'll do both.
Yep. Does this arrow land on someone? Dominkai unfortunately gets to dodge it, but that's a good seal. Astral Echo revealing multiple members back to the execution in. Demon Knight briefly gets taunted, but is this enough time for Arora? But with the Lord! And we're jumping in, stunning multiple members. Demon Knight just waiting for Carl, and they take him down first. Sanford could only do so much when he's left alone. OHEB and Sanji have to run away, but he gets caught by the Star Shutter. Immortality won't be popped, but they have to let go of Sanford.
Massive predictions from members of Arora, considering where the vengeance might go. The dashes of Sanford, 2 free kills for Arora, kicking Liquid out of their base.
Sanford and Carl are nowhere to be found,
Not for about 40 seconds.
and they might just go for this one-way push to take the most that they can after Liquid's turrets being untouchable for how many minutes now?
These three can't defend from the 5 on Arora. Look at OHEB from the back line. What's the Filipino sniper gonna do? AOG!
AOG from JP, but they get to burst him down. That's the immortality already popped. Does JP get away with this? It's a no!
OHEB still hiding. OHEB, what's the plan? Star Shadow throw. Now Dominkai!
Oh, was that the way of the dragon dodged?
Yes, it was!
In a split second, Demon Kite got to dodge.
I could have sworn OHEB was gonna go straight for Doming, but instead it's Demon Kite who flushes him out of the brush. No one taken out from Arora in their attempt to go straight down mid. Lord spawned. Rora doing a little bit of homework, cleaning up their base as Sanji spots Dominkai. The Dominkai T40.
Still not over it. How do you dodge a way of the dragon that was committed to you while he was inside the bush? But Sanji trying to look for targets here. Demon Kite holding the Lord.
Phantom execution, spent in, Glory's pathway.
Oh, Sanford now is the target. He gets to use the final slap, but he doesn't survive for long. Now Aurora gain access to Carl. What can Sanji and OHEB do?
OHEB coming in! Demon Kite dashes through!
But he gets stunned by lights, and he doesn't get to do his full combo. He's just trying to escape, but Demon Kite finds Sanji instead.
The chef gets cooked. It's a 3-man coalition from Liquid. Rora hunting Carl down!
Oh! And with a flicker Star Shutter combo, the GOAT is taken down.
Yue doesn't miss. Lord to Arora.
As if the entire 20 minutes weren't in favor of Liquid. Aurora with such a massive clapback, but OHEB in an attempt to find a trade. Pops the immortality of Dominkai, but that's all he can do.
Daddy JP doing his darndest to get something out of the exchange. Takes out Dominkai, but it's too late.
He's left alone, and with no one from Liquid to defend. This 26-minute game ends in the hands of Aurora.
The Northern Lights first to the board. Game 1 goes to Aurora.
My goodness.
That was just game 1. We're here for the long haul. A best of 5. Aurora pulled that one from out of nowhere. Liquid have to go back to the drawing board, figure out where they all went wrong. Listen them over to Midnight in Athena.
If there is one team that you would count on the getting a comeback on the game, that's going to be Aurora.
13,000 gold lead in favor of Tlph, but Arora shuts it off, and they claim this game. Edward again in the Lapo, Yue with the snipes, and Doming being so so hard to kill. Aurora still finds a way to win against Team Liquid. Mind you, this was almost a stampede from
Yep.
Team Liquid Philippines, but they held on. And Demon Kite on this Lancelot was able to perform after having an abysmal early game. It was an abysmal early game, but late game, he was able to dash through to win for Aurora.
What you were saying? That we will be able to get a meet and greet with Carl Easy? No. We will be meeting Demon Kind himself, the Smiling Demon, our Game 1 MVP. My first question was, how will they come back from that huge deficit in gold, turrets, and as well as objective? But the answer is just one thing.
Yeah.
Just wait and see what they could do by catching up Sanji. And even Sanford, the Sansa duo, was the one that they picked the most, especially onto the greater or latter parts of our clashes.
Yeah, it's all about playing it slow for Aurora, waiting for the mistakes, the cracks in the plays of Team Liquid Philippines. It's also a sort of an eye for an eye. Like it got down to the mechanics of these players, the ability to dodge these spells and skills coming out from TLPH. It made it so that the Cho and the Selena had to work for these skills. Like even the attempt on Demon Kite's life earlier, on Domin Kite's life earlier on by Sanji, but also making it very hard for the Lancelot to be caught in these objective fights, which made the game for TLPH kind of bit of an awkward skirmish all throughout. But again, it was Team Liquid that started the dominating the show from the get-go. Minute 1 up until the
Yes.
second Lord, I would say. Aurora was just playing to the music of TLPH. But the problem was, we mentioned this earlier during the draft, that TLPH's lineup is all about early game, fighting these pickoffs.
Yeah.
But when do you go down to the late game? Aurora, they do scale, and the team fight is going to be a little bit of a problem, especially if you don't find these pickoffs. And that's what happened. Sanji, OM, they had to find weird angles, try and go for force the pickoffs. But at the end of the day, the composition that Aurora has allows for them to actually outplay these kinds of plays from TLPH.
It's the sheer willpower to actually stay online, supercharge their way, and clear out 4 damage dealers here for TLPH. You mentioned that we were all expecting, based on the stats and numbers, that TLPH would get the late game,
Yeah.
not really the early game. And surprisingly, up until the 17-minute mark, that was a huge goal deficit that TLPH already established. But surprisingly for Aurora, for me, there was a specific instance. Even if I'm Dominic, I will shout out your name with "and I love you."
Yeah,
but
Dominic loves Secret.
moving forward there, for me, one of the highlights for game number 1 was Demon Kite dodging out the wave the Dragoneer from OHIM.
Yeah, the arrows, the boats, the attempts, the AOGs, the slashes, and also I wanna highlight Edward here on this Lapu. I've said this earlier, this Lapu isn't a bit of a problem for TLPH because they already had the lanes down. Sanford was performing really well, was able to get out of the XP, showed up for his team. But the problem was late game. The assistance of having the Navaria and the Hylos allowed for the Lapu to actually find these targets, because there will be people that will force out these dashes coming out from TLPH. And I do have to say that even though OHEB played an amazing Cho game, this wasn't the spectacular Cho, but he was able to pressure the side lanes, force Aurora to react, get these crucial pickoffs. But at the end of the day, you lose the late game aspect, because now you're all carved easy. So it was Aurora against the Yisun Shin up until the late game, and all Light had to do was force the traceless and then land the glorious pathway with the astral echo from US, so that they are able to find the Yisun Shin out of position. And Edward, we saw that in the last clash. Yisun Shin or Carl DZ was so out of position that Edward just gave chase.
Yeah, it took the opportunity.
Yeah.
Didn't waste any single drop of it. Moving forward here for OM, you mentioned that this is not really the traditional way or hero here for OM. Yes, he did a great job, but to compensate with that is you have the mobility.
What?
But what about the late game? But looking at their big four titles here, still going to be our BPI rich guy is going to be Carl TZ. Because it really matters the most, the early facing. But it's all about the situations wherein Tlph was a bit too, let's say, a bit too greedy.
Yeah,
As you
overzealous.
mentioned, that was somewhat of a funnel strat, not considering that Aurora is the kind of team that doesn't care when it
Yeah.
comes to gold caps or even network caps.
Yeah, this is how almost impossible that comeback was from Aurora. The big four came from Liquid Philippines with Carl TZ leading the GPM charts
Yeah.
and being the BPI rich guy. But at the end of the day, conversion was the problem here for TLPH. There was too much flex. Yeah, sure they took advantage of having the Cho in the early game. They were able to like stampede their way through the mid game. But at the end of the day, you have to still take down the base, which they didn't have. Because I mentioned this during the draft, the YSS cannot fully carry this game because of the heroes on the side of Aurora, and because of that, it got down to like weird fights for TLPH in the late game.
They were actually having a hard time. We've seen some multiple instances. If ever OHEM didn't have the show, he could just go for a backdoor split push here
Yeah.
onto Aurora's space. But that didn't happen because we've mentioned that he also has to think of a bigger setup, the bigger picture for TLKH. But moving forward onto our game number one, there's further information that we could get from our solo analyst. Let's head on over to Wolf.
Thank you so much sa ating mga talents at madami tayong mga matututunan na naman dahil nandito tayo ulit sa segment The More You Know. Ang TLPH at Aurora ang masasabi natin pinaka-established when it comes to their strategy na gustong gawin. At kung usapang established lang, etong side ng Aurora, yun naman ang napansin ko sa kanila. When it comes to their hero pool, masasabi natin hindi ganun kataas compared to other teams. Pero bakit sila pa rin ang pinaka-successful na team natin mula sa regular season up until this very moment, sila din ang may pinaka-successful na win streak when it comes to the series, and it's mainly because dun sa kanilang very compact na hero pool. Hindi ibig sabihin na wala kayong masyadong heroes na ginamit ay hindi na kayo ganun kalakas as a team. Kung ganito kataas ang efficiency ninyo, meaning to say, yung mga heroes nyo kadalasan ay naipapanalo nyo, doon na natin masasabi na napakaganda talaga ng inyong pinapakita. 83% na hero pool efficiency mula dito sa Aurora means na kapag meron silang ginamit na hero, talagang papalakasin nila yung strat around it, bubuo sila ng mga compositions that will make it successful. Like their 12 wins sa Harith, 10 wins dito sa Lapu-Lapu at 8 wins sa Yishun Shin, Lance as well as the Kimi. When it comes to heroes with 0 wins, ito naman ay kakonti lang. Interesting dito na yung Hayabusa at Fanny, yung hindi pa nila na ipapanalo. Kahit malakas naman sila maglaro sa ganitong heroes. Well, I guess, yung ibang teams dito din sa Philippines ay malakas din naman para makontra sila. But when it comes to their hero pool efficiency, meaning to say, kapag merong sinolidify ang side ng Aurora na strategy, papalakas sila at papaganahin din talaga nila. Yan ang ating bagong kaalaman dito para sa Aurora. And sa sarap panalo with Nor, masarap din ang magkaroon ng bagong kaalaman. This is The More You Know. And I hope that you learned something from that. And I hope you appreciate yung ginagawa ng mga teams natin dito sa ating meta. For that, yun na muna, balik na natin sa ating panel.
Thank you so much, Wolf, and that's The More You Know.
The More You Know.
Number one.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Wolf. And of course, we appreciate the teams as well. Again, perfecting your craft, mastering the basics, and also advancing the strats. It is what definitely allowed Aurora to, pull off this comeback, because Lord Dance was the thing in the late game for both these two teams.
It is.
But at the end of the day, Aurora just had the answer versus the YSS, and Liquid didn't have anything against the crazy dodges coming off from Demon Kai.
And Aurora maintaining a calm composure.
Yeah.
They've learned from their game yesterday with TNC to just come down, never sell items early. Plus, to note that
God.
you just have to wait for the perfect catch here for Edward. He really did his best. Props to him.
Yeah.
Biggest respect here for Edward for turning the game around. Catching Sanji and even Sanford. They're on to very latter parts of our game number one.
So be calm, be collected, don't sell your items, and also
Don't sell it yet.
dodge the kick.
Yep. It's all about the instincts and mechanics. I do wish I have that kind of awareness.
Same.
If I'm an XP laner,
I suck.
it's all about experience as well. No, you don't suck. Actually,
Sometimes I do suck.
it depends on the
On Lance,
mood.
all right? On Lance.
Okay. Thanks for the disclaimer. But for our audiences here on Cuneta Astrodome, put your game face on and make your smart power pose. All you have to do is copy Edward, making a triangle here.
Is this a composure pose?
It is.
Is this like a ritual or something?
Oh, it's a triangle of power, like
Hey.
composure,
Oh.
never sell your items early, and then what's the third one? Dodge, wave the
No,
dragon.
nah, it has to be an Edward thing. So never sell your items, be composed, and also, I don't know, man.
Put your game face on.
Put your game face on. Yeah, maybe that's the triangle of power.
Okay, we're seeing
right, well-
some students here. Oh,
Okay.
there's a strong contender here for the Auroras.
1v1. She's actually wearing a jersey, so
Yeah,
she has a +1.
She has glasses. That's
Yeah.
+2.
She's Edward, but a
Girl
she.
version.
Yeah, but a she.
Because OHEM has a girl version.
Yes,
a
that's
she
true.
version.
An Edward multiverse.
Oh, we've seen some huge familiar faces
There you
here,
go.
and that's going to be our winner for our Smart Power Pros. Congratulations, ma'am. There's another successful fan here for Cuneta Astrodome. If you want to win prizes such as that, all you have to do is buy your tickets, watch the game live here on Cuneta Astrodome, and might as well just participate on other booths as well on our MPL Superfan CD Festival.
Yeah, it's again, if you don't mind spending your weekends, just buy a ticket because it's gonna be a hell of fun watching live in the venue. You get to scream with
Yeah.
the thousands of fans that are
Spend it with
inside
us.
the venue. So if you haven't, again, you can secure your Tlph tickets now. Head to the MPL Philippines website and join us at the Cuneta Astrodome for the MPL Philippines Season 16 playoffs.
Yeah, please spend it with us. I'm begging you.
For those
I
who
want-
hasn't bought their ticket.
Yeah, and you could get a chance to also get to meet and greet your favorite players. And by the way, the Alamat Awards is back. Who will rise to become legends of MPL? We will later know that. And so far, all of our audiences, even on our social media pages, are actually predicting on who will be the winners. You could watch it live later here on the MPL stage, October 24.
Yeah,
Today is October 24, yeah.
Yeah, right after this match.
Yep.
So we get to celebrate and again commemorate these amazing players that have played in our league. I'm actually excited for the MVP of the
Who
season.
is it? I think it's going to be Midnight.
No,
Because
that's why I'm coughing. I'm not-
hardest working
No,
caster ever.
that's Wolf. He works every day. So
Well,
matter of fact, he works 8 days a week.
all I see is Wolf. Even though I'm on the English broadcast, I actually called him over earlier
Yeah.
on to our...
See, he's also working English broadcast.
That's double time here for Wolf. But check it out, guys. If you're ready at the venue, if you're watching us live there on the MPL Superfan CD, shout out to you guys. And I do know that our second match is also a sold out match
really?
as well, from what I've heard. So let's check out. For first match, obviously, if you're seeing our backgrounds, some have already taken their restroom breaks,
Yeah.
preparing their clappers, their banners, and as well as regaining composure of their cheers.
Edward, Edward,
The Edward
composure.
pose. Okay,
Yeah,
composure.
they're doing this while they go to the bathroom. That's
The
not right.
Edward.
That's not right.
No, it's a Zen mode.
It's okay, it's a ritual.
Yes,
It's a
it's a ritual here for Aurora. And going back to the game,
Oh,
surprisingly, everyone, I've also seen a glimpse of the comments. They were actually like, oh, this is automatically a TLPH game. And speaking of TLPH, you're going to be on the blue side for game number 2, Midnight.
there's a lot of pressure for TLPH for sure. They almost won game 1. I don't know how the talks went on with TLPH. Of course, obviously, we're still working here, so I haven't had the chance to talk with these players. But again, these talks are very important because you gotta reset. Even though it's a best of 5, it's not an excuse to say that, all right, it's still a long way to go because momentum is a thing, especially in playoffs. You get a good game like that for Aurora, they're just gonna roll with it. And for TLPH, even though you could argue that, okay, we still have a lot more strats, you still lost with a commanding lead. So reset is a must for the cavalry.
It was good until there was a word until here
Until it
for
wasn't.
TLPH. And now the wait is finally over as we move on forward for our game number 2 drafting phase here. And let's see if they will go for the same route. But before that, let's check out on what will be our
Clouds.
map for game number 2. Flying Clouds.
Get a
Flying
clouds.
Clouds.
There you
Flying
go.
Clouds.
I think I am so lucky today. I don't know. I'm feeling lucky.
You are.
Are you feeling lucky?
I do feel lucky. I'm with you here on the English test.
Okay.
And let's see if your predictions will reflect also here on their game 2 drafting phase still. The Harik and CC ban here.
Wait.
And straightforward backshot approach. And then Yuzong and Lanson at ban here for Aurora Midnight.
Is this Aurora giving TLPH the Yisun Shin?
Like it's I dare you.
Yeah, and it's both the Yisun Shin as well as the 1-1. First time this happened, TLPH won with 1-1 on Noem. I think it was a match against Onyx Philippines. So Aurora, they have a lot of things to consider here. Yisun Shin, 1-1, and then there's also the Zhu Shin. The TLPH has not shied away from taking first.
Yep, and now they're actually baiting out the Jushin pick here
Yeah,
for
Arora
the
Jushin.
LPH. They could actually go for an Arlot still, a first prior pick here
You're right, yeah.
for TLPH.
There you go.
But it's going to be here for Sanji. Quick predictions here, midnight.
Farsa, maybe Farsa or Kimmy, and then potentially Gatot or Grok for line.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mind the honestly. I don't mind the Grok against Zushin because you are able to sort of immune and even counter the Zushin initiation. Because if you trap the Zushin, she's forced to use the Crimson Beacon because she has to dodge the Tectonic Charge.
Or might as well get the Lapu again here for
That too.
Edward.
That too.
If you want. And a Lapu is very viable option in terms of flying cloud statistics. But sorry, I don't have the papers. But moving forward here, the Gatot Kacha would be a nice deny pick also if you're on to the side of Aurora. But let's see. As I'm hearing it, it's going to be an Arlot and a Ranger here. So it's an XP and a hero for Domikai. So it's a change of scenery and prioritization. Midnight, they realized that they would want Domikai on a more comfortable positioning in terms of drafting phase than the Alice and Hayabusa for DLPH.
I was worried about this. DLPH,
Why?
they're comfortable playing with the Hayabusa. Carl Tizia showed himself to be a very good Hayabusa player in MSC. And then now they find themselves in an Alice situation where there's no Yuzong. They see the enemy XP later. It's just an Arlet. Sanford gets to pick the Alice on first phase. So now Aurora, what do you answer this with? Do you go for Fredrin on Demon Kite, considering that it is a good combo with the Arlet, but there is an Alice on the table, so I don't know.
Even I was actually going to say Doming Light. I'm combining their IGN right now.
Okay, Fredrin.
Okay. You've mentioned a Fredrin, but it's about Onyx Philippines. How is it for Demon Kite getting a utility jungler?
I'm not a big fan of this Fredrin pick. Yes, it is an Arlet and Fredrin combo, but you are up against Sushin and Alice, two heroes that enjoy playing against Fredrin. Aurora, they have to buff this lineup up. They have to have huge damage on Mage or, Rome. I don't think they would go for that, though, but Kimmy and Farsa is still available, so I think Aurora might want to gun for a Red 4 Farsa, but TLPH, they will have the opportunity to take it away.
Thank you so much. And now we have the most picked heroes for Flying Cloud. So there is the Labu for the top 5. Still on
None of them here, by the way. None of them here.
None of them here. But still, none of a 1-1 for game number 2 and the crowd.
Okay. Yeah, that's a
You
good bet.
mentioned this.
Yeah, that's a good bet. That's a good roam for Aurora. That could have been a good roam for Aurora for the same reasons that we've said they needed damage, and also it supplements the idea of being able to counter the Zushin while also attempting for the Red 4 bait. Because what TLPH could have done was give them red 4 possibility of the Grok. If they don't take it, TLPH runs away with an Alice Grok combo, but they don't have the opportunity to risk it, so they needed to take it away.
That's too much of a giveaway if ever
Yeah.
they don't ban the Grok. And for sure, Master of the Basics have already foreseen that. And now for our Red 4, or rather, last ban here for the LPH and a
Farsa.
possible Red 4 for Aurora. It's going to be the mid laner.
Oh, okay.
And
Interesting.
An interesting ban of a Franco as well here for
I
TLPH.
think they trust Sanford enough to deal with the Farsa if ever it does show up. Even the Kimi, honestly, for Yue, Kimi, Sicilian, Farsa, those three are good picks. You don't need here. Okay, they go for Gatot, so they save the best for last. They don't have to. Because they had to rush the Gatot because TLPH could have taken it away. But even then, I think you could run this lineup with the Hylos for TLPH on JP, even the chip, honestly.
For me, for TLPH, if they do pick the chick and it's a fly cloud, to be honest, there are just not much differences. So
Yeah.
it's more familiarity in terms of
Yeah, it's more about the draft
yeah,
than the map.
and the mechanic as well, and the respo when it comes
Yeah,
to
they go
fly cloud.
Hylos.
Hylos, and then the Moscow here for OHAB.
What? I mean, late game, and it's also OHIP. So Moskov, good matchup against both the Granger, decent against the Arlet. But I swear, this would have been a good carry game, honestly, for OHIP. But they go with the Moskov
And the
then the Kimi
Kimi.
for you. I am feeling lucky today. Matter of fact, 1-1. Let's go.
I think it's your day. It's your lucky day.
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
Yeah, let's see if Aurora will also have a lucky day as they lock in the Kimi mid lane here for Yue.
Yeah.
Interesting choice as well here for the Moscow for Ohe, but it's because it's Ohe,
Yeah.
so it's possible.
I would have preferred honestly the carry because I think the Moscow's much too slow. Because the carry would have been useful mid game. OM he has to farm till late, and Aurora they do have early game comp, so there is a window where Aurora could actually punish TLPH with this gritty lineup.
Let's see if the streak will continue here for Aurora Gaming as we move on forward for our game number 2 upper bracket finals. TLPH still missing a point. Let's head on over to the land of the Handcasters. It's your time.
And I don't think there was enough time between game 1 and now to recover. We just came from a 26-minute slobber knocker. Leo and Breda bringing you the second game in this best-of-5 series. Team Liquid Philippines looking to recover against Aurora.
This was a surprising draft we're seeing from Team Liquid, mainly because it's a bit too obvious that they're trying to maybe play for the late game. And stats show that they don't really perform that well when we're past the 18-minute mark.
This was an in-depth discussion you had with Hans in the panel over yesterday's matches. But also, just to juxtapose the thesis on Midnight's draft. Oh my God, you went.
Okay.
I think Aurora's draft, if we're going to revert to something closer to pre-Project Next, looks better. Because I'm surprised that this Gatot Gacha went all the way through the second phase without anyone banning it.
That's true. It's a mixture of them prioritizing the picks they really want to deny first, taking away the Arlot even from Sanford in the first phase of the draft, but it's not like they weren't able to prevent the Alice from coming to play. But then again, it just adds to how farm heavy Team Liquid Philippines and their composition is overall. So I don't think we'll be seeing them as aggressive to start things off. But I think they have a lot of ways to just deal with the macro and prolong the game as needed. But hold on, if it's about aggression we're talking about, I think Carl TC wants to show us that. Light looking to be the target here, and the shadow kill committed just to take first blood.
That was a 3v2 fight that Demon Kite had to walk all the way through, and he just did not make it in time. That's just kind of the cons you have to live with if you have a Fredrin. It's been a hot minute since we've seen the Appraiser make his way into a game.
Yeah, and it's understandable if you're Aurora that you get to extend that much. You have a Kimi on your side, and the mid lane supposedly really favors whoever has the Kimi in their lineup. But it seems like Team Liquid might not get to contest this year.
Carl stole away a small camp, and Light could not stop him. I got his eyes at the minute.
So, despite all that, Light still has his eyes on Carl TZ, not exactly letting go of where this, I'd say, all over the map Hayabusa is.
Yeah.
Because even just now, before that first blood, he already showed us how aggressive he wants to play this game. Maybe even being one of the main players to play aggressive in this entire lineup that we're seeing from Team Liquid.
That's right, Carl TZ's Hayabusa is a thing of beauty. If you talk about his best heroes in Season 16, I'd say Lancelot, Lisa Jin, and then this Hayabusa. Action breaking out in mid.
Oh, Throne of Ruin for Sanford catching 3, SOD also landing, but does Owen point it? Edward doesn't land the final slash, but the AOG's perfect.
Bang!
A Bracer's Wrath. Sanford gets taken down. JP might be next. There's just so much hold from Aurora.
The Alice is just a sexier Uranus.
Yes. I heard that.
Emphasis on Uranus. At the end of the day, no matter how sustainable you are, after your Throne of Ruin,
Oh, the perfect vengeance to evade and cancel out the Ogi Shadow Kill. It's not a flicker, but it acts the same way. Hold on, Oheb.
close call on two different fronts of the map. Back to what I was saying, at the end of the day, after that Throne of Ruin, you're still just a sustainable, annoying XP laner.
That's about it. Stand in front of everyone, try to annoy them, but if they have enough damage,
Oh!
what do you do next? Oh my goodness! 3-man stun!
The three-time MPL champion stops the forward momentum of three heroes. Domikai!
Oh, but what Oheb doesn't know is that there are 3 members of Aurora waiting for him. I don't know if it was just perfectly timed or predicted by Aurora, but that was painful to watch.
Call it a sting operation. They knew that Oheb had this killer instinct in him, and he saw a lone Granger, but he did see the other two members waiting in the wings. It looks like Aurora are going to be scoring their second turtle. Sanji, Sanford trying to grab one, pull a fast one over Aurora. Not going to happen. They're up about 1,000 and change.
This is expected from the lineup. Hold on. Edward still wanting to go in for the fight. Crimson Beacon already used. JP getting to escape with the Glorious Pathway. But it's been a very aggressive 4 minutes. Just 4 minutes so far for Aurora. And what does Oheb do? He just has to walk away.
He does his best, bring it out. He does his best. Aurora have stepped on his neck and stopped him from farming. The first 5 minutes has been hell for this Moscow. Looking at the items, and of course, what that translates to in economy. He's down about 1,500 away from Domikai.
Could have been more if he didn't use his SOD just to get that gold card that was clearly denied of him or nearly denied from him just because of how well Aurora's been controlling the gold lane. And this has been a trend so far. This is expected considering TLPH's lineup. But how do they show us the changes once they don't get the early game? Because time and time again, that's what we've been constantly pointing out as their requirement to win the game, to get to do the Liquid Stampede. But this is something they walked into. They drafted this way. They expected this to happen.
You know what? In the playoffs, anything can happen. Aurora can even win on Flying Clouds. That's what this map is all about. And they do find Sanford to the bottom lane.
Can't even use the cleave. Throne of Ruin is all he can do, but does he have enough to stay?
Oh!
Oh! Barely tries to survive, and that's another piercer stack picked up by Domikai. Carl's Easy versus Edward. It's a 1v1, but the final slash still makes it. Fortunately, the other members of Team Liquid are there, but that was a close call.
All right, 3 dudes from Liquid, no problem. 4, that's where he draws the line. A little too much for Mr. Consistent to deal with, but what this does is open up the lower part of the map where the turtles spawn. 3 for 3, Aurora, 100% on turtle take rates.
Yue, look at how Yue's just defending this turret. Carl TZ has to escape.
Oh,
Oh, he walks away, but does not escape death. Light and Yue take down Carl TZ.
The GOAT got tunnel vision. He really wanted to push in. Did not have enough backup. Down bottom, Demon Kite has 2 on him. This is what you can do with a utility jungler. You're able to really put your foot down and say, the rest of you guys do that, and hold on. That's why it's a macro-centric hero. Oh my God, JP!
That's the tankiest member of Team Liquid right now. But Aurora, without hesitation, committing the final slash. That's how confident they are at this point. Demon Kite, though, he does not walk away from that.
Still too much to expect to survive all that, but again, Aurora, sleight of hand. You're looking at the right hand, the left is already committing a crime. They pushed it here to a top. As I was saying, if you're a utility jungler, you can do these kinds of things. One of those things is sacrifice yourself because you're less of a asset to your team so you can afford to die. Second is you can hold down fights so much longer. Tlph, when he died in the top lane, there was no business for him doing that. Not for that long. So Arora, they're still on point here, on course. 4,000 gold up, 8 minutes in.
This time it's Aurora who's had their turns untouched for the entire past 8 minutes of the game. Team Liquid Philippines are struggling. They might be waiting for one team fight that they get to win, and it's from that where they just pivot and try to convert into objectives, because the way it's looking right now, could they even split up? Like, I know that's something OHEB would want to do, but based on how Aurora's been rotating, they're not making it easy for the Moscow.
I think they can. They just have to be very specific about it. Like now, see this? It's clear where Arora is. They show themselves on the map. It helps that the Lord is going to be a beacon, a magnet for Tlph to try and consider where they're coming from. But look, we're still looking at the maybe number 2 best hero to steal Lords with. That's a high push. Oh, Edward steps in.
Right, Edward, final stack already put in his Throne of Ruin. Might just done 3. Oh! Dominkite gets taken down by Sanji, but before he does, JP gets taken down as well. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far, and OHEB, that's what you were talking about. So he finally gets to push the waves.
And it's also very fortunate that Liquid found Dominkite. If it was anyone else that died, maybe even Edward or Demonkite, that would have been okay. Rora would have forced the issue, but no, it was Dominkite. It was their main damage source.
It was just unfortunate that he was right behind that wall, and once he flickered, he found himself right beside the Lord and in front of Sanji's Crimson Beacon. So that was a very awkward position to be in if you were Dominkite, but they also probably didn't expect that there were other members of Liquid who could come in from the mid lane, because they were probably expecting everyone to just hold those brushes down bottom close to the back of the wall where the Lord is. So now it's a second chance for Aurora to potentially take this.
I think it was premeditated. Liquid really cordoned off Rora's exit to compromise Dominkite's positioning, and then in turn they killed him. That was really good for Liquid. Now, Dominkite finds that taunt. Lord at about half health.
That was a knockup from the Lord. Edward working on Sanji, though, but Demonkite goes down. Oh, and pointing to fight as well. This Lord is going into the hands of Liquid. Carl will get traded, however, and they're trying to chase after Liquid, but all they want to do is walk away.
Liquid definitely winning out on that trade. They pick up Demonkite, take the Lord, and everything else is extra. Collateral damage, Tlph is, but it's worth it. Rora did not see this angle coming. I didn't see this angle coming. I think Liquid just worked their way into closing this gap. 4,000 gold cut down to just 1.
I think it was just normal movement from a Fredrin, from a utility jungle.
It was the right thing.
You switch targets, you stand in front of everyone. But where did the damage even come from for them to burst him down that much? Or I also think the Lord knockup had something to do with it, because it was an unexpected timing of Lord knockups that helped Liquid try and be a bit more aggressive. And that's where Demonkite found himself bursted down.
Yeah, something tells me Sanji sitting with 2 stacks on his Sky Piercer, maybe 3 stacks. I have lost track of where exactly to count from. Made that death on Demonkite, that kill on Demonkite so much more possible, so much more faster. And the Appraiser's Wrath almost made no difference.
We couldn't even feel it. I mean, JP was already expecting to receive majority of the damage from the Appraiser's Wrath, but at this point, that's what you want to see from JP. That he can just confidently stand in front of these members of these annoying heroes of Aurora, so Liquid can know where to position themselves, and finally, after trying to be a bit more careful for so long, they get to take away some turns from themselves.
Oh man, the map has equalized. Literally, 2 for 2. Rora now just have barely 1,000 gold off over Liquid. Where did this go wrong? It's not like Yu is not in the right position to deal damage. Dominkite only died once. Demonkite died twice. One of them was kind of warranted. So it's just Liquid finding their groove. Looking at the items now, it is a Swift Trinity for OHEB. Tlph also has 3 strong, hard-hitting items. And Sanford, I think Sanford's last death might have been his actual last, because he's on his way to a full cursed hell. Once he builds that winter crown, I don't think we're going to ever see him die again.
Yeah. Maybe this is where a bit too much attention on caging the predator starts to backfire.
Because it's just not worth it. It takes too much time.
And I don't think, like, maybe Sanford even wants you to pay so much attention to him at this point. Majority of the damage, of the disruption will come from him, yes, but not the damage. And he's not the guy who needs to be there until the very end of the team fight.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe essentially kind of similar to the Fredrin.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's got to be Oheb, it's got to be Carl. Sanji is the finisher. The fact that Sanford is so annoying and could impact a team fight so much from the XP lane on this Alice is that game changer. So Arora, how do they react? Maybe don't pay attention to Sanford as much. Like, as much as you can avoid the Throne of Ruin. That's easier said than done.
Because either way, he's gonna show up anyway. He is definitely gonna use that Throne of Ruin and try to position himself in front of as much people as he can. So he will voluntarily walk up to you, and you don't need to work so hard to do that. But where are they trying to come from this time?
Look at the angle that Sanford's coming through. Edward spots it. Glory's pathway.
He already low. Edward using the final slash, but Sanford stuns so much. It's UN. Dominic Kite now very low. Demon Kite looking at the next target. Kyle TC with a double Ogi Shadow kill now. Trying to go for Dominic. Fortunately has a dash, but that's 3 members already taken down.
Easier said than done isn't even the start of it. Sanford almost single-handedly helped Liquid win that fight. 3 for none, the Throne of Ruin, everyone on a trampoline. Arora have to defend.
What did we say about Sanford just walking up to everyone and making it easy? And now they're trying to just take as much as they can. Dominic Kite defending. Oh, the Wind of Nature already committed. Sanford blocking the bullets. But that was such a great defense from Dominic Kite too.
Arora lose 1 inhibitor. Almost lost mid. They're gonna lose their purple buff. Liquid are up 3,000 gold. Oh my lord, how do you stop Sanford? It's not like he even built his winner crown. He literally, Brigadier, you said it right. You said it best. He just walked up and said, what are you gonna do about it? Now, I hate to cry over spilled milk, but did Rora not respect Liquid's propensity for crowd control? Not a single purifying.
Yeah, I guess there was a bit too much attention on JP as well. It looked like JP was
Or on Carl.
definitely going down in that instant, but who would have thought? Again, even we were surprised to see Sanford holding that bush. And now he just comes in with the flicker, and we might see another one. But they'll be a bit more patient this time because Arora already takes care of the Lord.
They're still breathing. They're still in this. Glorious pathway behind JP. Liquid looking to scare Arora away from defending. They do keep that inhibitor up top and the base intact.
Correct. Arora still in this game. We're looking like we're about to approach another 20-minute game, honestly, if
Looks like it.
Arora are able to still hold this a bit longer. But I think there's not much in terms of the damage dealers if we're looking at gold. Because Sanji, Yue, Oheb, and Dominkite, there's not even 1,000 gold difference existing between these
Yeah,
groups.
no, it's not about a difference in firepower. It really is everything else that goes with it. It's the garnish, the meat, the protein is sound. It's tasty. But what else do you partner it with? Let's watch that sequence once again. Look at Sanford. I don't think it was enough that Edward was there to check him in. All right, 40 flickered in. He didn't walk up. He gleamed, flickered in, and I think that scared the bejesus out of Arora.
Yeah, and he came from the left mid-bush at that.
Yep, it was an ankle breaker. He came from the left, gleamed to the right, and then flickered again to the left.
All the while, Arora probably thought they had everything under control.
Nah, not this predator.
Nah.
Not the apex predator, Sanford. Okay, so they have 2 anti-heals, right? They have the Sea Halberd on Doming. They have the Glowing Wand on Yue. Is that enough? JP, oh my god, trying to split up Rora.
Hold on, he's in the middle of 4, but Sanford once again finding Yue, forces the flicker as well, but Edward and Demon Kite doing all the zoning. The Cyclone Eye actually did not help Arora there. Sanji's unstoppable right now.
Wise is watching from home. He knows how much that hurts. Dominic backing up, almost gets choked out by Sanji.
There's another Lantern
game. 1-1. Liquid on the board. Bring it on the deny us the 20-plus minute slobber knocker.
They did.
Liquid came to play.
I can't believe my eyes. It's a reset for now. Best of 3.
Let's throw it over to our analyst and panel to break it down.
Never letting expectations down. Another one here for TLPH. All one score for Arora and TLPH.
I think I am indeed lucky. 1-1 is the score. Not because TLPH won, but because we get to see more games in this series, Athena. I do love the fact that, again, Aurora, they maximized the window that they were given because of the